Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a massive shift in how schools are actually managed. We're moving away from that traditional top-down administrative model to something much more collaborative. In the Philippines, there's this incredibly powerful cultural concept called bayanihan, basically the spirit of communal unity and pitching in to achieve a shared goal. Well, today we are going to look at how an official government policy is literally trying to hard-code that exact spirit right into the structure of our schools. To really understand this shift, we need to unpack DepEd Order No. 26, Series of 2022. Issued by the Department of Education, I know it might sound like just another memo, but it's actually the official blueprint for community-driven school improvement. It officially mandates the creation of what is known as the School Governance Council, or SGC. Basically, if you're a parent, a teacher, a local official, or even a student, this document outlines exactly how your voice gets a guaranteed seat at the table.
We've got a lot of ground to cover. We'll quickly be hitting the principle of shared governance, what the SGC actually is, its structure and membership, the roles of council officers, and finally, key functions and limits.
All right, Section 1, the principle of shared governance. Let's look at the why behind this policy.
So, why shift away from the principal making every single call? Well, the policy explicitly defines shared governance as participatory decision-making. It acknowledges a pretty simple truth: every single unit in the education bureaucracy has a specific role, and they're all accountable for the outcomes. Meaning, if a school is struggling or, hey, if it's succeeding, it's not just on the school head's shoulders anymore. Everyone shares that responsibility. It's about shifting the mindset from, oh, that's the school's problem, to actually, that's our shared responsibility.
It's kind of fascinating to see how this operates at the intersection of two major educational frameworks. First, you've got school-based management, which basically decentralizes decisions down to the individual school level. And second, rights-based education, ensuring that every single decision protects and promotes children's rights. When you add those two together through the SGC, boom, you get this incredibly nurturing, learner-centered environment where kids don't just learn, but absolutely thrive in a safe, healthy space.
Moving to Section 2. What is the SGC? Let's talk about its dual purpose.
According to the policy, the School Governance Council has two massive mandates. Think of it as acting as both a structure and a mechanism. First, as a structure for shared governance, it's a democratic avenue. It's the actual physical forum where internal and external stakeholders sit down together and consult on school plans and strategic directions. Second, it serves as a feedback mechanism. It's the official link between the community and school management. So, your feedback doesn't just vanish into a dusty suggestion box somewhere. It is actively reviewed and acted upon by leadership.
Which brings us to Section 3, SGC Structure and Membership. Let's look at the who of the council.
The policy relies on some really specific, data-driven pacing for its membership. It doesn't just say, invite the whole neighborhood. The crucial starting number here is 4. The foundation of every single school governance council, no matter the size of the school, begins with exactly 4 initial ex officio members.
And who are these 4 foundational pillars? You have the designated co-chairperson appointed by the school head, someone from the student government, a parents-teachers association rep, and a faculty club rep. It's super smart because right off the bat you have the administration, the students, the parents, and the teachers all sitting at the table. Think of these 4 as the core anchor. They sit down first, deliberate, and then select the remaining representatives from the broader community to flesh out the council.
Once those 4 core members sit down, they look at the unique context and size of their specific school. Together, they'll determine the total size of the voting council, expanding it to anywhere from 7 to 15 voting members. This is great because it allows a tiny rural school to keep things lean and efficient with a council of 7, while a massive urban high school can expand all the way up to 15 to make sure diverse groups like local government, NGOs, or alumni are all properly represented.
Now, you might be wondering, what happens if the community is highly active and more people want to pitch in than those 15 slots allow? The policy cleanly splits the membership. You have your voting members, capped at 15, who make the core decisions and elect officers. But you also have non-voting members. These could be former SGC members who want to stick around and offer institutional memory, or extra community members selected by the current council. They don't cast a vote for sure, but their insights and connections remain incredibly valuable to the discussions.
Let's jump to Section 4, Roles of Council Officers. Let's check out the leadership dynamics.
This is where it gets really interesting. To balance power, the policy outlines a very unique leadership dynamic. The SGC doesn't have a single all-powerful president dictating everything. Instead, it's guided by 2 co-chairpersons, working alongside an elected secretary and the school principal.
And notice, the principal isn't the chair either. They sit parallel to the council. This dual leadership structure is completely intentional. It stops the council from just becoming a rubber stamp or an echo chamber for the school administration.
You really have to contrast these two co-chair roles to understand this balance of power. On one side, you've got the designated co-chairperson. This person is an internal school representative appointed directly by the school head. On the other side, you have the elected co-chairperson. This individual literally must be an external stakeholder, like a parent or a community leader, and they are chosen through a vote by the council members themselves. So you literally have the inside and the outside working hand in hand to co-lead the SGC.
And to fiercely protect this balance, the policy explicitly states a golden rule. The internal designated co-chairperson cannot be nominated for the elected external position, no exceptions. This ensures that the school administration can never accidentally or intentionally monopolize both leadership seats. The community will always have a guaranteed equal say at the absolute top of the SGC leadership.
Let's move to our final section, Section 5, Key Functions and Limits, the how and how not.
We need to look at what the council does, but honestly, it's just as crucial to know the strict boundaries it absolutely cannot cross. To prevent any misconceptions or turf wars on campus, the policy highlights exactly what the SGC is not. First off, it shall not manage the school. The school head is still the manager of daily operations. Second, it does not have a separate juridical personality, apart from the school. It's integrated into the system, not a separate NGO. And third, it definitely doesn't replace your PTA, your student government, or your school planning team. The SGC is a coordinating bridge, okay? Not a boss. So instead of managing daily operations, its true collaborative functions are incredibly strategic. The SGC actively participates in formulating the school improvement plan, and then it funnels critical community feedback regarding how those plans are actually executing in reality. It advocates by officially recommending support programs to the local government unit. It also organizes meetings to harmonize all the different programs running on campus so efforts aren't duplicated, and it holds itself accountable by submitting semi-annual accomplishment reports.
And this brings us right back full circle to the real heart of the policy. The source text literally states the SGC shall serve as a platform to cultivate the spirit of Bayanihan among stakeholders to support the school. The DPED isn't just spinning up another boring committee here. They are creating a legally recognized, highly structured vessel for community love and support to actively pour into our educational system. It's a way to ensure that no school ever stands alone.
So I want to leave you with this thought. Knowing that the SGC is designed as an umbrella for collaboration rather than a replacement for your voice, how are you going to step up? Whether you're a parent, an alum, or a local business owner, the structure for shared governance is officially in place. How will you bring your unique skills and the spirit of Bayanihan to your local school governance council? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to reach out to your local school to see their SGC in action.